let's discuss body marks, such as round scoop marks, impact bruises, cookie cutter clean bruises and burns, fluorescent marks, finger and hand prints, scrapes, cuts, and punctures. Because they are being found by people when they wake up in the morning with absolutely no idea where they came from, or with a waking memory of receiving these marks. I myself have received fingerprint bruises on the top of both my knees, 3 to be precise on top of each knee, a precise triangular impact bruise with little red squares on my upper right forearm, 2 1 centimeter long cuts behind my left ear that look like sutures, and a raised round welt at the base of my sternum with 5 puncture wounds in a circle. The welt on my chest was determined to be a vaccination mark by a licensed doctor, but I had never in my life been vaccinated on my chest. It is still there and itches from time to time. Many people are being forcibly experimented on, taken against their will. It appears there is an operational agenda underway that needs to be addressed by those in power within government, but is largely dismissed. If it doesn't fit the narrative, they don't talk about it. Or are they secretly in collusion? Some people have witnessed a military presence on board alien vehicles during their abductions, working side by side with what we call the Greys. I pose this question. Could this be an agreement made with off-world beings in 1955 in the alleged Greada Treaty, where the United States government traded permission for abductions to occur in exchange for advancements in technology? And is this still going on largely unregulated? I truly believe this to be the case. There are some people who cannot accept the reality of alien vehicles zipping around in our airspace with impunity, much less the idea of alien abduction. The mainstream media, for the most part, has ruled out the possibility and convinced many that abductions are dreams or mental delusions and can be resolved with medications and psychotherapy, ruling out the possibility that what the experiencer endured was true. To quote the National Library of Medicine, in response to a new psychological study of persons who believe they have been abducted by aliens that found sleep paralysis, a history of being hypnotized, and preoccupation with the paranormal and extraterrestrial were considered predisposing experiences, and that many of the frequently reported particulars of the abduction experience bear more than a passing resemblance to medical procedures. There is the altered state of consciousness, uniformly clad figures with prominent eyes in a high-tech room under a round, bright, saucer-like object. There is nakedness, pain, and a loss of control while the body's boundaries are being probed, and yet the figures are thought to be benevolent, much like a factual alien abduction. This in some cases might be true, but for the most part, these are the conclusions of academics that cannot accept the possibility of actual alien abduction. Abductions that cause life-changing anxiety over several years. To quote the Journal of American Culture, quote unquote, as with any other trauma, alien abduction can cause severe emotional shock in the victim and have long-lasting psychological effects, such as post-traumatic stress disorder and post-abduction syndrome. Various methods of treatments can help a suffering alien abductee to overcome or cope with these problems. These methods include support groups, psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, and even simple humor. Despite widespread skepticism toward alien abductees, there are some psychiatric professionals who believe that there is a need to treat alien abductee patients with the same standards and practices as anyone reporting emotional stress or trauma. Some mental health professionals are now arguing that psychotherapists should be educated about the UFO abduction phenomenon so that they will recognize the symptoms and be able to help the victims. Abductees or experiencers have also found implants within their body. They can be located anywhere, but most commonly found behind the ears and lodged up the nasal cavity. Implants can be a piece of meteorite, a piece of unknown metal, bone, other materials, and man-made radio frequency identification chips. RFID chips are an indicator of human involvement in some alien abduction experiences. RFID chips can send or receive data, whereas a non-human origin implant exhibits magnetism and may also send data. This has been postulated by several researchers, but is still yet undetermined. We tag our pets so they don't get lost. We tag animals of all kinds to track their movements. So perhaps implants received in an alien abduction perform the same tasks. Our movements are being watched and monitored, just like the animals humans track. Is this the way aliens decipher our current location? So if they want to abduct us again, they know where we are at any one moment? I think this is the case and why so many of us feel helpless. This phenomenon is a legitimate one. From the Congo to Russia to China, Britain, the United States, and many other countries, the alien abduction reports are similar in scope. This is experimentation on a global scale, and we need to push the narrative so that it is recognized as fact. We need to continue sharing our encounters between each other, passing on the information to people who have not yet awakened to the truth that we are not alone.